We are here to talk about launching your remote tech career in 2025. I'm so delighted to be here. And do you know what? There's 57 people. There needs to be at least 100 people in this room because today is going to be super exciting. If you want to launch your tech career, and not just a tech career, but a remote tech career. I think you get that? Remote. As in, you don't have to leave the comfort of your home. Guys, you need to get as many people as possible into today's room because we are going to be spending, it's just 60 minutes. It's going to be short, sharp, powerful. Dr. Finn is ready. He's ever ready, but he's ever so ready today. And I'm absolutely delighted to be hosting you this evening. So thank you so much for joining. And hello to my people in the UK, London. I think I saw Ayomiku. I'm not sure who else I saw from the UK, but yes, lovely to have you. And likewise, lovely to have everyone for joining from all different parts of the world. Yes, Victor also is from the UK, Chatham, Kent. So I see you. Thank you so much. I hope you were enjoying that music in the background whilst we're waiting for people to join. But you are so warmly welcome. So Davia, you are welcome. Karine, you are welcome. Akintunde, Inifome, Hafizi, Ashish, Jesse, Lenovo, Ebenezer, Esther, Paul, Rotimi, you are all very warmly welcome. And I know there's a whole lot more people who are here. And if I haven't mentioned your name, I'm sending you lots of love and peace and joy because today is going to be explosive. Guys, if you know that you want the best for anyone in your space, in your sphere of influence, and you want them to thrive in this year 2025, please get them in the room. So Omar has said, we need 500 people in the room, right? Because we just need to have people listen to this, to what Dr. Finn is sharing, freely sharing. So you're not paying for this, right? So please get as many people in the room as possible. The world of tech is ever evolving and changing, right? And today is about sharing. Dr. Finn's going to be sharing some of those tools, strategies, everything you need to know to either enter into the industry or to level up if you are already in the industry. So please get as many people in as possible. We're going to be sharing essential skills. We're going to be sharing insider tips on how to position yourself. Because it's not just good enough that you are in that space, right? You can be in the space and not be seen and not be visible. You can be in the space and not know the right things to do, the right buttons to press to ensure that you are visible. So today is all about gaining visibility. How do you position some of the skills? So be ready to take notes. So it's not just listening in the background whilst you're cooking or maybe lying in bed. I don't know what you're doing, but please, guys, this is serious stuff. Take notes. Make sure you take notes because this event potentially can change your life. So we want you to gather as many people in as possible whilst I'm going to introduce Dr. Finn, and this is why we're here today. 79 is still not good enough. We need to hit 100. In fact, I feel like saying, guys, until we hit 100, I'm not going to bring in Dr. Finn. What do you say to that? Shall I just wait until you get 100 people in this room? Because that's biting into your time, right? I'm biting into your time to be learning, right? Or shall I just have mercy and go on? Tell me in the chat function. Shall I have mercy and introduce Dr. Finn? Or shall I wait? Shall I wait for us to be 100? Okay, mercy. Mercy, okay. Mercy has won. Mercy prevails. So, now to the major highlight of this event. I am so delighted to be introducing our experimental keynote speaker, Dr. Finn Ditimi, PhD, PMP. Dr. Finn Ditimi is a distinguished technology executive, AI ML specialist, and fractional chief product officer, renowned for his ability to launch and scale groundbreaking products. Guys, This man is loaded. Bring some more people in. We need to fill this room, right? He's the founder and principal consultant at Canada's renowned F&F consultancy. He's driven transformative growth for global powerhouses like Bell and Bombardier, contributing over $50 million in revenue across 30 plus product launches. He's equipped with a PhD in AI. PhD in AI. Some people have only just caught up with what's happening in AI. Dr. Finn has a PhD in AI and machine learning from Concordia University, Canada. He's also impacted over 1,500 students, lecturing at esteemed institutions in North America. He's a respected thought leader and he's constantly invited to share insights on AI, product management, and business growth on leading platforms across print, digital, and broadcast media. He is a mentor with Futurepreneur and an advisor to Canada's Digital Adoption Program. Dr. Finn continues to shape the digital and technology space as a sought after thought leader and innovator. So you can connect with him on LinkedIn, and I will post that in the chat function. But ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, I would like for you to warmly welcome this trailblazing Dr. Finn Ditimi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We cannot hear you, Dr. Finn. See, that's what's happening for your sins because we're not 100. So it's not speaking. But you're warmly welcome, Dr. Finn.
Good afternoon, good evening, depending on your times. I'm excited to be here and excited to have this conversation. So we're going to jump right into this conversation just to make sure that, because we want to make sure that we cover some of your time and also ensure that we're covering everything that we want to kind of talk about today. So today, we're going to be talking about how to launch a remote tech career. And some of the tips that I've used over the years, not just for myself, but help a lot of people from different countries, cities be able to build a career that transcends location, irrespective of where you are. So how do you launch a remote tech career in 2025? And there are a lot of things that's happening right now. We all know what's going on with AI, what's going on with automation, and a bunch of things that we're seeing out there that people are talking about. But how do you tap into it? And how do you prepare yourself to get your dream tech job? And over the years, I've been able to kind of look through this process and refine it and put together a 5-step criteria that can help you go from someone that has no idea where to start in tech to somebody that is not just working in tech, but being able to carve out a niche and build a career path for yourself. And I've broken that into 5 key areas we're going to talk about today. The first one is self-assessment, you knowing yourself and your goals. The second thing we're going to talk about is how do you choose the right educational path for you to acquire the skill set you need to be able to succeed in tech. Thirdly, we're going to talk about how do you now present yourself to employers by putting together an appropriate resume that would stop people or make you get selected out of the bunch of people who apply for a particular role. Fourthly, we're going to talk about how do you optimize your LinkedIn, because LinkedIn now it's more, we see it as the social media platform that we use for professional networking. How do you present yourself so people who are looking for someone like you to join their company or someone like you within their network so they can recommend you for opportunity? And lastly, once you have the opportunity to go sell yourself in front of a company, how do you prepare yourself so you are able to be the candidate that is not just memorable, but the person that gets the offer? So now let's jump a little bit into about knowing yourself. So all know, everyone assumes that when you get into tech, you're doing something different and you have to have some different skill set or personality for you to be able to survive. And the good thing about it is that they are all wrong. What you need to do is first understand yourself. What am I good at today? What can I comfortably do? What am I passionate about? What am I excited to do when I wake up in the morning? And what are the goals that I want to set for myself in terms of career? I want to be able to become a manager within the next 5 years. I want to be able to lead people within the next 2 to 3 years. I want to be able to understand certain skill set or certain managerial experience or certain level of career that will help me be able to live a comfortable life, pay my bills and all of that. And once you have that clear understanding, then you can focus on finding the right road that would help you be able to achieve that. And to do that, you start first by identifying your strengths, because 50% of the skill set you need to succeed in tech today, you already have it. You just don't know that what is relevant. Can you communicate? Are you able to engage with people? Are you able to negotiate? Are you able to think strategically about a particular problem? Are you able to plan out scenarios to be able to solve a problem? So what are the strengths today that you have from the roles that you've had before in your career, or from things that you've done before, either through academic background if you're a beginner trying to get into tech, or you're a second career changer coming from healthcare, construction, customer service, any area, accounting, any area at all, so that you can cross-match those strengths that you have and be able to see which of those strengths that you have will be relevant for you to better align yourself to particular tech roles. And key thing, learn from your journey. What have you done before? What are the achievements you've done in whatever jobs that you've had? What are the things that you've been able to successfully get completed? What are some of the challenges that you faced and you'll be able to surmount them and be able to turn them into lessons that you're using in your career? And then at the end, you want to set very clear objectives. And there's a criteria, or there's a process, and there are a lot of scientific approaches, but there's one of them I like to use, which is I call the SMART approach, which is you make sure that each of the objective of what you want to achieve is specific, which means that I want to get this done within 6 months. It's also measurable, which means that you can quantify it to be able to say when it's completed. It should also be achievable, so you can say you want to fly to the moon. It has to be something that you can do. And then relevant, which means that it has to be something that will help you with regards to the tech role or the areas in tech that you're interested in. And you have to make it time bound or time box, which means that you have to give yourself a timeline for when this would be achieved. So it could be a short-term goal that you want to achieve in 6 months, or a role that you want to get. I want to get my first tech role in 6 months, and long term, I want to be able to grow within tech and be able to earn this amount of income. So it has to be clear, because if you are not able to specifically identify a problem that you want to solve and measure it and give yourself timeline, how do you know when you've completed it? And how do you measure yourself to know whether you're getting close to the duration you've provided to yourself to get it done? So when we talk about self-assessment, the key thing here is knowing yourself, knowing the skill set you have, knowing the things that you've achieved, so that you can bring them as what we call transferable skill that gives you 50% readiness to be able to succeed in tech. The second part, now that you now know the skill set that you have, you're bringing in, what are the 50% left skill set that you now need to acquire? And we call that process of skill development, you choosing the educational path that works best for you. And now is where you can explore different career paths, so, or different industries. And when people think about tech, we assume tech is an industry that is different from everything else. No, tech is an add-on to every industry. There are softwares, there are technology used in accounting, used in healthcare, used in the private sector, the public sector, used in retail. Now people are shopping online, from grocery to clothing to all of that. And the people who need to manage and build these technologies that we use every day, even the car manufacturing industries, every industry you find is now utilizing some form of technology. So understanding the industries that you're already familiar with, and then combining certain skill sets in tech and exploring to understand what is left, so you can make an informed decision about the area you want to go in. And to do that, you can either identify the areas you think you're comfortable with, and there are many roles we'll talk about shortly, and then create a path of how you would acquire that skill set and ensure that you're able to meet your goal. And it could be through formal education, which is you go back to the university, go through 4 years, or it could be through trainings, which is programs like the programs we offer and all of that that will train you on the theoretical aspect of what it's about and even the practical aspect for you to gather the knowledge. You need to be able to get the experiential learning, which is practically working on a live project to deepen your expertise and ensure that you are clear on what you want to achieve. And there are different ways to go through it. It could be a self-paced training where you take self-paced training, and when we talk about self-training, it just basically means that you take a training where you can watch the materials and do the practicals and go through it at your own time. So there are pre-recorded materials that you go through, and then we have also instructor-led trainings where you're having a live session like what we're having right now, and an instructor is walking you through and taking you through the program. We offer both self-paced training and also instructor-led training. Also, you can attend workshops to provide information about different roles in tech, like the ones here, or seminars also similar to what you're attending right now. And if you have the time, you could go through the non-traditional method of internship, of spending time. And most times it might take a lot of commitment for you to kind of go through this route. Or you go through the method that a lot of people started with tech, which is you go for certifications. But now we live in a world where people are more interested in what you can deliver more than the certifications that you hold. So most time we kind of push or recommend either going through the self-paced learning, which is like Coursera, Udemy, and we also offer those type of self-training, or instructor-led training, which is live classes where we hold your hand and walk you through and equip you with not just the knowledge, but practically working on live projects to be able to build the skill set that you need. So there are a lot of specific roles that are non-coding, because a lot of time when people think about tech, they expect you to be able to write codes, or people assume that you need to be an expert in writing codes or an expert in development, but you don't need to. There are a lot of roles right now that just requires you to be involved in how the application is built, but not be a software developer. And one of the roles that we've just added in and is becoming a global role that a lot of companies and organizations are looking for is a virtual assistant role, which we call a business support role. They could call it differently: system admin, administrator, technology lead, and all of that. But you're working remotely with somebody to either help them in different parts of their business to support delivery of their services or delivery of their operations within the business. We also have what we call process management role, which means you look into how things are done and come up with ways to make it better, which we have roles like business analyst and product owner. Then we have roles that are specific to managing people, which we call people management roles, which are like Scrum Master and Project Manager. Now let's look a little bit into each of these roles. So what does a virtual assistant do? Virtual assistant helps in managing administrative tasks to support the operations of a business. Could help with managing communication, scheduling clients, activities and deliveries, and even managing and coordinating teams. And they would leverage a bunch of software or tools to help in different areas to boost productivity and even collaboration within the company. So the key thing here is that when you're somebody looking for this type of role, you would need to support businesses in delivering their business growth. And a lot of roles that have been born out of this. We have customer support roles, helping companies to manage client queries. We have social media management, which is now growing and become a major area what globally, that we're having individuals, people managing social media, managing content, creating content for companies, for brands, and all of that. We also have executive assistants, where they have managers or leaders, directors that have a lot going on or a lot of schedules and things to manage, and they need somebody to help them streamline their activities, streamline what they do, and manage their calendar and also their deliveries. And even bookkeeping help to manage day-to-day operational things for a company. And even the real estate is becoming quite popular, where you help to manage bookings, help to manage viewings and all of that. And the virtual assistant is one of the most versatile roles for people that are new to getting into tech. And here is why. It helps you with getting practical knowledge. It also helps you in learning a bunch of software tools that are relevant irrespective of any other role. And it also gives you a foot into the door for someone that has not worked in the tech space previously. And then we have the business analyst, which is these guys are the guys that bridge the gap between the business and the technology guys. So find out what needs to be done that would help the business be able to grow and meet their objective, and work with the tech guys or the software developers, the designers, the testers, which are the technical guys, to implement it. So they're about analyzing a process, analyzing a system, so they can find ways to make things better, and also ensuring that they're facilitating communication between technical people and business people. You might think that's pretty easy, but when you think about a lot of technical jargon that happens on the tech side and the business guys that do not understand the terminologies, this role is an integral part to make sure that we're building the right products or the right system or the right processes for company, so they're not wasting a lot of money and redoing things over and over again. And I've seen this role help companies save millions of dollars because they effectively bridge that gap. And then we have product owners and product managers. Their job is to ensure that we're building the right functionality. Imagine going to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, Netflix, and you're seeing new things or new things that you could do pop up. These are the guys that look into what you're doing and provide direction for the right functionalities to be built. Look at what customers or users like yourself need. Look at what the market is demanding. Now there's an AI boom. You can see a lot of sources integrating AI into their system. These are the guys that put together those plans to oversee us releasing those features, functionalities, or new things that you could do in apps nowadays. And it's a very lucrative role. And then for the Scrum Masters, they focus on ensuring that we're using what we call Scrum, which is a method of how we build softwares properly, and ensuring that if there's any issues on how softwares are built within the developers, they help to coordinate it. So you're more of the person that everyone goes to help coordinate how things are done, if meetings are done well, if we are going the right direction, ensuring that we're building valuable products. And then for the project manager, those guys ensure not just that the team is working well, but everything that needs to be involved in that project. From the timeline that we have, if the duration of the project is 6 months, they ensure that you deliver on time, you deliver within budget, and the resources and the people that are involved are all working in accordance to ensure that we deliver valuable products. And this is another strategic role that saves companies a lot of money over time, and it's key role that has transcended even prior to software development. You see project managers in construction, in health, in every industry, because their job is to get a project done. And what's a project? Project is just anything you're trying to deliver that has a start time and an end time. You're traveling, that's a project. You're making dinner, that's a project. You're planning an event, that's a project. Everything you're doing that has a start and an end time. This is strategically placed through to help us organize ourselves to get things done. And we also have roles that are partial coding roles. So let's say you like a little bit of software development, and you don't want to go deeper, you want to learn a little bit of coding. There are roles that are not fully software development roles, but require you to do a bit of coding. And we have like data analysts and data scientists. For the data analysts, their part is uncovering insights about data. For example, you're on social media, there's a guy sitting on Instagram that is looking at when you come on Instagram, what do you like? What do you post? So that they can recommend the right stuff to you. A lot of you might have noticed you're on Instagram scrolling and something pops up from Thread saying, hey, there's something that you might be interested in. And then when you click on it and go to Thread, you now realize that posts similar to that start popping up. So these are data analysts. They look into insights and provide direction for the products to provide the right information to you, or drive the right functionalities or behavior within any type of software to you. Then we have the data scientists. These are the guys that build the algorithm, where you can say like AI and all of that are based on big data sets to be able to ensure that you're getting the best experience that you're seeing on the front end. So for example, you're on Spotify and it's recommending the music to you and all of that. These are the guys that are actually building the entire recommendation system for you. For Netflix, you're watching movies, and based on the movie you watch, it's showing you the type of other movies in that genre that you could also watch. So these are the guys who build those models. And it requires you knowing a bit of coding using language like Python and the rest, SQL and the rest. But if you've chosen which part works for your personality, saying, okay, you like to manage people, or no, I don't want to manage people, so Scrum Master project manager is not for me. I would rather want to work by myself and create and see how to improve. So I want to do business analysis or product owner or product manager. Or I just want to go into operational support. So I want to work as a virtual assistant. You now need to build a resume after getting the required training to show people that you can get it done. And to build a resume, there are key things that you need to ensure are in there. Ensure that you have a good executive summary that summarizes in a few lines what is core about ensuring that what is core about what you need or what they need for that role. Secondly, what are the software tools that you have used? What's your educational background in terms of, have you studied anything in the past? Have you built any credentials in the past? Also, ensuring that also that you showcase the experience that is relevant to that role. Because when companies are going through your resume, they're trying to find out, are you a good match? So you want to present up the bat that you are. And then also you could use keywords because there's certain terminologies that are specific to how things are done in these specific roles that you want to target and give them quantifiable achievement. I've helped my company manage this, and save them this amount of money. I built this functionality that helps us got this amount of users. I worked with a team that built this recommendation model that helped us improve how people are able to find things on our product. So you want to make it achievable, quantifiable, so people will be able to look at it and say, can you come back and make this possible for us in our company because we have similar problems we want to get solved. And when you have a resume that is pretty clear, it's important now that you kind of brandish this on your LinkedIn. Go through your LinkedIn, optimize it, and get those useful informations that are in your resume to show your expertise, to show your qualification, to show the value you've given in other companies, and ensure that that is fully detailed out within your LinkedIn. Also, networking. So you want to also share insightful information about those areas, what you've learned, connect with other people that share the same role as you, chat with people that you find out there so that you can ensure that when somebody has a recommendation in terms of my company's recruiting, they will remember you and they can find you because you're networking there, you're engaging there, you're connecting with people within that industry. Because one of the fastest way to get a job within the tech space is from recommendation or referral. So you want to make sure you put yourself out there for people that are already in industry to know that you want to join them. And then interview readiness. There's a lot of things that people do regards to preparing to get an interview, but we forget that when you've got an interview, you also need to show up there ready and prepared. One of the first things to know the company. If you're coming for an interview and you don't know what the company is about, you haven't checked their website, you haven't checked the description, you have the people that were invited to come interview you, if they're showing in the calendar invite, you should go look at them on LinkedIn. What do they share? What is important to them? What are the kind of things that they do? If you can find any information about it so that you can present yourself and answer your questions in a way that it aligns to the company's direction. Secondly, mock interviews. Find a friend, find a mentor, find a coach, and this is something we offer to everyone that trains with us, where we will do mock interview with you if you have interviews and you're ready to go sell yourself in front of a client. So that they can help. And the reason for the mock event is so that they can help you refine what you say. And also the behavioral questions, because a lot of the roles in tech, it's not like software development where they can give you a code and say, go write this. Some of these roles are behavioral issues that they will need you solve on a day-to-day. So they might ask you behavioral questions saying, okay, if we face this particular type of challenge, or have you faced this type of challenge, walk me through how you would get it solved. And you have to be able to use storytelling to walk them through. Okay, this is how we go through it. This is my process. And that way you're able to showcase your skill set. And you can also practice a behavioral question technique, which I call the STAR approach, which is you go from a situation to telling them about the task you did in that situation, to the actions that you took to get things done and the results that you achieve. That way you're able to showcase your accomplishments. So if you get a question related to, okay, we need to prioritize a particular feature, how would you go about it? You could walk through it. Okay, I faced a situation similar where I was working on a project and I had to prioritize a feature, but we had split votes with regards to the value of the functionality. So we had to have a consensus conversation for us to use a particular technique to evaluate which of the functionalities was more important to our customers and would generate the highest amount of revenue. And based on that, we were able to now arrive at the one that gives the best value to customers. And that was how we were able to resolve the issue. And we built that functionality, and that functionality helped us be able to increase our revenue by X amount. That way, you've told them the situation, you talked about the task that needed to be done, you talk about the actions that you took and the result that you gave, and it is measurable. And you always close with a question. When you go to an interview, you always want to genuinely show that you're interested in the role. So you want to make sure that people see that you want to be able to be part of them. And there are a lot of questions you could ask them. What's your expectations for the first 3 months for the role? What is the most important problem that I need to solve? Is this a new role or is this a replacement role? One of the questions that I always recommend everyone to ask is this. Out of all the, is there anything, and out of all the things I'm saying, is there anything that is unclear that I have said that would make you feel like I might not be the right person for the role? This forces the recruiters to actually think through and ask themselves in front of you, am I going to reject you? Or am I going to accept you for the next step of the interview or move you forward if it's the final step of the interview? And 70 to 80% of the time, they will be forced to ask you any question that they arrived at a biasness on that you did not know about. And I've seen that happen a lot in interviews where you answer the question, good, but the person assumed something else, and based on that biasness said, I don't think you'll be good for this role, rather than asking you the question to confirm if that's what you really mean. And this forces them to ask you that question. And 60 to 70% of the time, one or two persons on that interview would actually ask you a question that would have been the reason why they would have disqualified you. And that gives you an opportunity to resell yourself and be able to tell them that, yes, I'm the right guy for the role, and ensure that you leave there with genuine clarity that if there's any reason that you are not moved forward or given that position, you have done everything within your power to show them you're the right person. And that's what we're going to kind of wrap up today. And we have a bunch of freebies for all of the attendees, because I know a lot of you might be looking, okay, how do I do the self-assessment? We have a free template that we're going to share with you to walk you through how to do the self-assessment. We're also going to provide 2 different resume templates for you, whether you join our program or not, that you get access to also help you be able to get started if you're already in tech or if you're looking to get into tech and you want to kind of understand what's going on. And then also, we also have a template for LinkedIn referral if you want to reach out to people to connect you to expand your search. If you're already in the market, you're looking to get into tech and you want to kind of have some foundational information there. We're also going to provide a job tracker for you if you already started applying for jobs, even not in tech, and you want to use that. And key part, we have created short introductory free trainings with quizzes that will walk you through what each of these roles do: a product manager, a business analyst, a project manager, a scrum master, a data analyst, so that you can actually know what it is before you get in. And you can prepare yourself and be ready before you take that jump. And one key thing we just introduced is we also have a career coach that is available that you can reach out to, and we'll send details of how you can reach out to her, where she'll be able to have one-on-one career coaching conversation with you to answer any questions that you have with regards to getting into technology. So we have a couple of programs coming up soon that I want to just kind of surface. Our next set of programs for March will be our data analytics program. So you want to go a little bit into coding, maybe as a data analyst, a data scientist. We have our live classes that are happening in March, and exclusive discount for people who showed up and registered for this event. You get 25% off our trainings in March. Also, for our trainings happening in April, for our live classes on product manager, business analyst, project manager, scrum master, and we just introduced a new program called Release Train Engineers that is buzzing in the UK, US, Canada, and Europe. And you get another 25% discount. And for those who prefer to do trainings on their own pace because you want to kind of go through it slow and be able to rewind and go back and forth, we also have self-paced trainings that are available for you for multiple programs, our virtual assistant, our product manager, and you get 50% off. And all this is only valid for the next 3 days for people who register for our programs. And you get this level of discount for all of them. And this is where I would stop and hand it over to our lovely host, and we'll open it up to other conversations and questions.
Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Dr. Finn. That was very thorough, very detailed, and so much value for I want to say free, but it's actually not free because this time that you have spent with us is costing you something, right? So it's costed you something to show up this evening. So whilst it's free to everyone who's received it, it's not actually free to you. So we want to say thank you to Dr. Finn. Can we just appreciate Dr. Finn in the chat function, please? Let's just say thank you. And did you find value in that presentation? Did anyone find value? If you did, please put in the chat function. And another question I want to ask before we move to Q&A is, who is signing up? If you're in, just say, I'm in. I want to see, right? And I also want you to put your questions in the Q&A whilst we are getting everyone to say thank you and also to confirm if you're in or not. So there's a question. Okay, so please put your questions in the Q&A segment, not in the chat function, not where everyone's commenting and saying thank you, thank you. There's a special Q&A box, which you can see at the bottom of your screen. It's probably the fifth to your right. And so I'm just going to go in there and pick up questions for Dr. Finn. So first question from Srida is, what are the specific keywords one needs to focus on for each of these types of roles? Important, especially if the resumes are screened by an ATS. So he's wanting to know what are the keywords to focus on for each of these roles. And I feel like saying you have to sign up. But anyway, over to you, Dr. Finn.
So there's a lot of roles and it's specific to the role. So I might not be able to list all the key because there are hundreds of them. But there's specific things that each role does. For example, a virtual assistant should be good at communicating, should be good at scheduling, should be good at presentation. So it's what you need to do that determines the keywords that you need for the role. For example, a business analyst is the voice of the customer. So the person should be good at communication also, be good at presenting, could be good at listing out criteria or functionalities or implementation. A product manager, for example, should be good at identifying functionalities, prioritization, so they were building the right things. A project manager, it's about budget, time, and resources. So they should be good at managing people. They should be good at managing resources. Should be good at managing time. No, a lot of time we take it for granted, but when a company is paying you by the hour, it's important to them that you're delivering value within that time for them. That is at least 3x your salary. So every company is looking to make triple. So if you're a project manager, that's how you want to look at value. So the keywords are specific to your job description. That's how you derive those keywords that shows in an actionable way. So we call them action verbs that shows that you've done it before.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Finn. And I believe that's over answered your question. Srida, over answered. Okay, Ife Daya is asking, what do you think about developing oneself on WordPress? I guess that's a personal preference, but
So
over to you, Dr. Finn.
that's, yeah, like you said, that's a personal preference. There's a lot. So a few years ago, WordPress was the key guy. A lot of us did it. We're still expert. We still use it. But we live in a world right now where we're moving to no-code tools also. So for example, Shopify doesn't require you to have WordPress. There's a lot of e-commerce platforms or platforms you can use to host your website, host your services, and all of that that are just plug and play. You just add in your text. However, yes, WordPress will continue being a key player, but WordPress is a skill set. It's not necessarily a role. So if you want to look at managing websites, you might want to expand into multiple other tools that people use so that you're not locked into only clients that use one particular software.
Fantastic. Thank you. I'm just looking at the time, so we are on time. Okay, we've still got a little bit of time. So, John is asking, I'm a product manager in Nigeria within the fintech space. He's been struggling to land a PM role with an international company. So he's asking, what are your recommendations? And I want to say, John, John, you need to join the training. So this is what Dr. Finn was talking about, right? He will give you the tips, the skills, the strategies to land a role in an international company. I mean, I'll hand over to you, Dr. Finn, to answer that question.
So product management is now becoming a global role that is needed everywhere because everybody's building some type of software or something out there. And there are a lot of opportunities globally. So if you look at the fact that, okay, you're a product manager, you're trying to look through it. Let's go through the 5 steps we looked at. If you've now identified, okay, this is the area you want to go to, you understand yourself. You've now identified, okay, this is the part you want to go. How are you presenting yourself? What's your resume looking like? That's something we have. Resume clinic, we work with you to build that because ATS systems are screening and throwing stuff out. Secondly, what is your network? There's a word in North America that your network is your net worth, which means that the people you know determines the type of opportunities that you can get. So who are the people you know? And even part of our job assistance and resume clinic, we actually look for job opportunities and send them to you to apply. So we're not just telling you this is where to find it, this is how to find it. We have recruiters, we have people who reach out to us saying, do you have someone to recommend to us? And we recommend to them. But if you're looking at it on a global scale of international companies, you will need to position yourself as an expert that can compete with anybody globally so that you'll be able to find the opportunities.
Fantastic. Another question. Someone's asking if you can repeat the general question you're asking at the end of the interview.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So the question I said that every interview should end with, is there anything about what I've said, anything that we have answered the questions that keeps you in doubt about my competence to get the role done? Because 80% of the time, and I've been an hiring manager, I've hired probably over 50 to 100 people directly, supported teams that help companies hire ranging to hundreds of people. And at 50% of the interview, I already know I don't want you because of some biasness. Maybe the way you said something, and I'm like, nah, I don't think this is the person. It might not be you. It might be my interpretation of what you said. And now you are forcing me to tell you that biasness that I've created about you. So giving yourself a second chance to redeem yourself.
Fantastic. I agree with that. I do interviews all the time, and most times within the first 7 seconds, you know who you want. It's very sad, but it's a fact. So I can attest to that. Okay, someone's asking if they're going to get the presentation slides. Hey, presentation slides, you came for free. You want to take slides? I don't know. But anyway, Dr. Finn, are you sharing your slides?
So what we do is that we're going to share the video recording so you can rewatch it. We're going to host it and share it to you guys in addition to us. So it's part of the freebies you get. You can rewatch it. You can go in there. But the slides, because we want to make sure that you listen, been in the education space for more than 10 years. The minute you talk about slides, people forget about the context. They just read the slides. So I want you to understand the why and the what, and that's what we're focusing on giving you the video. So don't worry, you will have it unlimited. It will never go off, and you can keep watching it over and over and over again.
I was literally going to ask that question that when does it expire? Because I mean, guys, this is value. This is incredible value. So I also want you to say thank you to Dr. Finn as well. So next question, I think we've got time for a couple more. Can an experienced software developer transition to a product role and is it worth it?
Yes. So a lot of people don't know this, but I started off a software developer years and years ago before software development became the in thing. And then I moved more into strategic part of it, which is product, and then managing both product, software, and all of that. And I've had a lot of students that are software developers that I have trained also to move into product. And here's the advantage of that. You already have the technical knowledge. When I got into leadership and managing products, I was one of the few people that could talk to software developers, talk to data scientists, talk to business guys because I could speak English and I could speak technology. So it gave me a added advantage, and I've used that approach to train a bunch of people, and it's worth it. But it also depends on what you are passionate about. If you want to be on the driving seat, then product is for you because software developer, you're taking direction. The product guy, you're giving direction to the software developers on what to implement.
Fantastic. I hope that answers your question, Sarah. Ayomiko is asking, he's currently a cloud engineer and he's trying to get into DevOps. Do you think it's going to be a relevant role in the next 5 years? And if he wants to get into AI engineering, is it important to go back and get a degree, or can he do online training and trainings and projects? This is why Dr. Finn is in this room today, sharing from his depth and wealth of knowledge on all things to do with tech and how you can get a remote techie job in 2025. So I want to say just sign up. But anyway, over to you, Dr. Finn.
So what's DevOps? For those who don't know, DevOps is just us coining, and tech guys, we tend to steal things and make it fun. So DevOps means development operations, which is as we're developing, somebody is providing it to customers, those functionalities to customers. And we now move from having physical massive servers in offices to the cloud, where we're connecting to maybe Amazon Web Service or Google Cloud or Microsoft Azure, storing information remotely. And that's where DevOps comes in. So we are not going to go back to physically having servers again. So DevOps will never go away. However, as it grows, there might be need for you to advance on your knowledge of how you store data, which nowadays we kind of put data on top of AI, but AI is just based on data. If there's no information, there's nothing to learn from. Also, you do not need to go back to the university except you're someone like me that likes school and spent over 10, 15 years continuously doing that. But we live in a world right now where this information are compacted and can be provided to you. And when we talk about AI engineering, there's really nothing. We're just coining terms nowadays. There's nothing like AI engineering. It's just data engineering. AI is artificial intelligence. What does artificial intelligence mean? Based on what I know previously, or the computer knows, computers will infer or predict what will happen in future. And rather than me writing codes to make that happen, they've now put a chatbot that uses natural language, which is language, English and French and Spanish that we use right now to interact. So yes, it's important to understand AI because AI is going to change the way we do work. It's here to stay. The same way automation is already changing the way we work. But your understanding of it should be based on the areas that you're interested in within tech or the areas that it could help you improve how you get your work done. So trainings would work, but critically working on live projects is key because everyone wants you to have made the mistake somewhere else before they pay you to do it for them.
Fantastic. Ayomiko, I hope that was helpful. And if it was, I'm going to be sending you a bill because of that long answer. Okay, Devon is asking, based on your work experience, what are the top three programming languages you would recommend people to learn?
So the number one is Python. Everything now is about data, AI, all of that, and Python is the driving force behind it. The second one is another type of scripting languages because it helps you in the backend communication, which is SQL, called Structured Query Language. And now we have different version of SQL. We have Adobe, MS SQL, everybody's creating their own version, Salesforce SQL, and all of that. For the third one, I kind of leave that open because it depends on the industry and the area you want to go into. Some people might say React, some people might say other ones, but I don't want to be specific on software development as it's depending on the stack of the company, which when I say stack, depends on the language that the company has chosen that they want to use. And most times it could go different ways. But
Fantastic.
Python is your guide. If you want to get into tech nowadays and you want to go into some type of programming languages, that's the foundation.
And do you offer any of that, Dr. Finn?
Yes, so as part of our data analytics program, we'll train you on Python, SQL, Power BI, Tableau, even advanced Excel. A lot of you don't know the power of the Excel tool that you have on your computer and the amount of mathematical formulas and things you could do with it. So we'll walk you through all of this, and it's part of our data analytics program, which actually is going to be going live, or we're having our next cohort in the next 3 weeks. So if you want to do that, you want to build your skill set with regards to coding or programming languages, that's the program for you.
Fantastic. Lenovo is asking if you offer any social media management classes.
Yeah, so as part of our virtual assistant program, we'll teach you the tools you use to create designs, teach you the tools you use to uh, build your brand, schedule posts, and all of that. So it's a part of the package of our virtual assistant program to help you be able. And we're gonna be launching it, but my team has told me not to. But I'll probably break a couple of the things now. For our next cohort, which is starting with this for our virtual assistant program in May, there will be internship where you work with us to actually manage social media if that is something you want to do.
Fantastic. See, so there's more value. I mean, this man just keeps giving and giving and giving. Man, guys, stop squeezing Dr. Finn. Okay. They're asking, you will be sharing. So Chukudi is asking, you mentioned that you'll be sharing some resume templates. Is that going to be circulated as part of the email that you send?
Yes, so the email and all of that will have two resume templates. So family, we're giving one, decide to increase it to two, so you see two different versions that you can pick the one that works best for you.
Fantastic. Do you provide digital? So Edmund is asking, do you provide digital marketing training?
So that's one of the programs that are in our back burner. We offer it, so we have the expertise, and it's part of something that we're going to expand as we go through our virtual assistant program to include. But we do social media, we do like social media ad management from Google to Facebook to influencer partnerships to creating plan and strategies. So yes, that's something that's part of our virtual assistant program, but it's going to be within the advanced. Yes.
Okay. Nafisa, I think we've got maybe 2 minutes left. Or is it okay, Dr. Finn, to
Yeah.
carry on?
Yes.
A
We
couple
can
more
continue.
questions. And Nafisa is asking, how can you still be of value in finance docket with the AI introduction? Will the role still be of value in the coming years? She's in finance and social media strategist. Can you use? I don't think you quite
Yes.
wrote. I didn't
I
quite get
think
your
he's trying to
question.
say finance and social media. How do you tie it in?
Okay.
One of the biggest thing, and that's something that I have personally paid attention to, especially those of us that have been in deep tech. We have this false sense of we have the expertise. I don't need to tell anybody. I don't need to showcase it. And it's people who don't have the expertise are not coming out and sharing bogus information and confusing people. So if you're a finance expert and you're also doing social media, you can build a personal brand about talking about how social media can help finance experts. And that's what we call personal branding, which is you're talking about the areas you're an expert as, and you're building thought leadership information around that. So finance will not be replaced by AI because somebody, and this is the fear a lot of industry, somebody needs to come up with the strategy that AI will need to take. And if there's no finance expert, we call that concept subject matter expert, SME, that we need to say, this is how things needs to be done. Because what does AI do? It creates artificial knowledge from existing knowledge. So who creates the existing knowledge? The expert. So AI can take it further with artificial knowledge.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Finn. At this point, I want to say, guys, Dr. Finn is offering so much. There's this, did you mention about some training you're about to do over the next few or training that you offer? So maybe some of these questions would be best answered in that training session. But maybe one last question, because we're out of time. We did say 60 minutes and we're almost up to time. Let me get a very easy question. So Daisy is asking, where can I practice getting design works, free or paid, to build her portfolio? And that would be the final question for tonight.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you're looking at product or graphic design. There are a lot of platforms out there that you can look for to find things to do. For example, Canva has a lot of templates and all of that if you're looking at basic designs. But if you want to go into advanced designs like product designer, we have Figma, and Figma has a library of possibly any type of product you want to design, and you find the components, the elements there, and you can be able to use that to play around if you want to go into design. So Figma is one of your biggest areas that you can find, and Canva is the second for any designer.
Fantastic. And on that note, we're going to have to bring this to a close. It's we've got 1 minute left, and so I'm going to hand over to F&F Consultancy for closing remarks and to just bring this to a close. So thank you to everyone who's joined, and hopefully we'll see you soon. So over to you,
So
Dr. Finn.
I left one most important thing for the last. So this year we've been hosting this webinar. We had a couple of series, but we've looked at it. I have been able to, over my career, build a network of people within AI, probably not at least 10 AI doctorate degrees holders and people within the industry that are building AI companies. I also know leaders in different industries. And we've decided, instead of myself and a few of people within my network coming to share information, why don't I bring all of them virtually over a series of 2 days and have them come talk about technology, from recruiters to hiring managers like Kemi, to experts, to CEOs, to leaders, directors, managers, to all come together and talk about AI yearly. And we've decided to host our first tech conference, which is called Tech Force Connect. I am dropping the registration link now in for early registration, where we're thinking of getting virtually 5,000 people from every country we can find: Israel, China, Dubai, South Africa, Congo, Ghana, Kenya, and pick leaders around the world to come talk about technology, and also bring companies to come recruit people in person and actually network with you and help you be able to find global roles connecting Europe, North America, Canada, US, to Africa, and everybody globally. So you can start registering. From those lists, we'll start providing informations monthly and all of that to you. And we'll be having some top speakers around the world that have built their career and they're looking to mentor and support people, which is our goal. Our goal for FNF is to get 1 million people in tech. I can't do that alone. So I've brought a lot of experts with me to help me achieve that faster. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and looking forward to
And
seeing
this event, is it how much is it for this event,
you. So for
the
this
tech
event
conference?
is going to be free.
Oh, you
Registration
know
and
that
access.
it's free. Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
And it's going to be in September on the 4th and the 5th of September. It's going to be virtual. We're going to be having a bunch of different events, different speakers, experts in different areas that are excited to come help us bridge the gap between people trying to get into tech and also people that are already in tech. So you don't make the mistakes that some of us made 10 years ago because we didn't have mentors and coaches.
Someone said to share how they can register for the courses again. The courses, the ones that FNF is providing, and the discount and all of those things.
Yes, so I've also dropped the links. So there are two links in the chat now. There's one to register for the conference and there's one to register for the training. We're also going to be emailing everything to you and even text messages for those that will have their contact about how to register for the training. And also in there, we're also going to put in an area where you can request for a call back from our career coach to actually answer your questions. But give our career coach sometime it may take a lot of time for us to catch up through because I've seen that a lot of people want to have one-on-one conversation.
And Dr. Finn, one final thing. You did say 25% is going to expire in the next 3 days. So by Tuesday.
Yes, so today, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, by Tuesday, go back to our full amount. But between now and then, if you register, you get that discount.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Over to you. Is it Omar is taking over? Who's closing us?
Yeah, I think you can close us.
Okay. Well, we want to say thank you. And all this free. In fact, it's just ringing in my ear. I don't know. I don't know how Dr. Vin is just offering everything for free. But you know what? As I said, it's free to you, but it's at a cost to the person who is delivering everything that has been put together. You know, it takes money, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes a team in the background having to put all of this together. So honestly, in as much as it sounds free, it's not quite free. So let's appreciate Dr. Finn for what he shared tonight, for all the free resource. Free is just sounding somehow, I don't know. Just sounding somehow to me. I think I'm allergic to like free stuff. I don't know. But anyway, this is the heart of Dr. Finn. So we want to say thank you so much. And thank you for spending your hour with us on a Saturday evening, afternoon or morning, wherever you're connecting from. So we hope to see you at the event, at the major conference, or in class, because you've got 25% off, and that's a big deal. Or maybe the 50, maybe you want to take part, you want to purchase the 50%, so the online training, self-paced at 50%. That's also amazing. So thank you so much to everyone for joining, and see you soon.